Hey everybody, welcome back to the blog. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have some focus. Really nice bergamot. I always tell you guys, bergamot. I really like the flavor. So a little bit of zing, a little bit of a pick-me-up, green tea. It's really nice. Anyways, if you haven't picked up any of these teas, you guys asked me for them. I put them out there for you. They're under the brand Dark Moon Teas. You can find them over at my website, JCristina.com or darkmoonteas.com, either which way. And use promo code YT20 at checkout. They'll give you 20% off any of my teas, as well as all of the products that I've invented over the decade. Anyways, guys, today is going to be an interesting one. We're not talking about Canon, and we're not talking about Sony. What? Yeah. I'm happy about this. I'm really happy about this. Finally, we can give something back to Nikon. They made the announcement of their Z5, which is their lower end full frame mirrorless camera, and I'm really excited about it. What I want to do is something a little bit different. I usually do specs on the product release, and we'll compare it to what we've heard in the rumors and see where we got it right, where we got it wrong. But instead, today what I want to do is do more of a direct comparison on the Nikon Z5 specs in comparison to the Canon RP. Now, why do I want to make that comparison? Well, the RP as well as the Nikon Z5 are on that low end mirrorless full frame level. Okay, we'll get into pricing after, but that's my rationale behind it. Now, there's a difference in age, obviously. One is brand new, the other one is about 1.5 years old, but we want to just kind of go spec to spec just to see where Nikon is faring with their brand new camera. So anyways, before I get into it, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded my ebook, 10 tips at making tack sharp images, go and check it out. It's free. You can pick it up over at jcristina.com/ebook. Once again, jcristina.com/ebook. Very simple. It's free. Get it. There's a lot of really great stuff in there. Something for amateurs, something for professionals, something for everyone. Check it out. You'll learn something, I promise you. Anyways, let's get right into it. So, the Nikon Z5. We're going to go through some specs here. I know some of you like it, some of you don't, but we need to get a baseline of what's going on here. So, once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do spec for spec. I'm going to tell you where the differences are between the Canon RP and this Nikon Z5. And then we'll make let's say a judgment call at the end. So starting right out at the top, the Nikon Z5 has a 24.3 megapixel FX format sensor in it, CMOS sensor, whereas the RP has a 26 megapixel sensor in it. The processor is a XP 6 in the Nikon, and it's a Digix 8 in the Canon. Also, ISO range. A lot of people want to know how these things fare when it comes to noise, all right? How does it fare in low light? Very important today. Now, the Nikon goes all the way up to 51,200, and it's expandable to 102,400, whereas the Canon will top out at 40,000 ISO, but also expandable up to 102,400. So I'm going to guess they're going to be pretty close, pretty comparable. It shows that the Nikon is a little bit more sensitive, but we'd have to see a one-to-one when it finally comes out to see how that noise fares between the two. Now, getting into video, like I said in my last video, I know a lot of you guys say, why do you talk about video all the time? Why are you even adding specs in there when it comes to video? I don't care about video. I only care about photo and the usual. Now, the reason we do, and like I said in the last video, is because most people are hybrid shooters today. What that means is instead of just doing photo, they're doing video with these cameras also. Little clips, whatever it is. And they want to have a camera that does it all. And the manufacturers recognize this. And in the last video, I spoke about the Canon EOS 5D Mark II. It was that beginnings to the hybrid, let's say, revolution, where we saw photo and video in one full frame unit. And it was a major, major thing. And now today, like I say, the cameras are being judged based on not only their photo, but also their video. So on the video side, the Nikon Z5 will be able to do 4K and it'll top out at 30p. But it does have a 1.7 crop at 4K. Now the Canon also does 4K. It does have a crop. This one is at 1.6 crop, whereas it does do 24p in comparison to 30p. A lot of people out there really like 24p because they feel that it's more cinematic. I shoot almost everything on 60p because I want this lifelike type of look. But if you're looking for a cinematic look and you want 24p, Nikon doesn't seem to be offering it. 30p is it at 4K. I could be wrong here, but I did not see 24p in the specs. We'll see. Anyways, also full frame HD, which will be your 1080p, where it's capturing the entire frame instead of a crop. The Nikon will be able to get up to 60 frames per second or 60p, and that is the exact same amount with the Canon EOS RP. You're getting 1080 at 60p with no crop, the exact same thing. Now, slow-mo, 120 frames per second, 120p. Neither of them do it. Neither the Nikon Z5 or the Canon EOS RP. No slow-mo in either one of these machines. Next comes that EVF, that electronic viewfinder. Now, the Nikon does have one up on the Canon because it has a 3.6 million dot OLED. A beautiful, beautiful display, whereas the Canon EOS RP does have a 2.3 million dot unit. So you're looking at about a million and a quarter dots more on that Nikon. So chances are it's probably going to look a little bit better with that Nikon in comparison to the Canon. Now, moving into continuous shooting. How fast is this going to shoot? Now, the Nikon is going to top out at 4.5 frames per second. Pretty slow, all right? But it is, remember, this is a budget full-frame mirrorless camera, whereas the Canon EOS RP will top out at 5 frames per second. So they're pretty much comparable. 4.5 to Canon's 5.0. Let's just call it a wash. Now, where things definitely change is with in-body image stabilization. I'm not a fan of it, but some of you guys are, and you want it. Okay, you don't want the IS or VR in the lens, you want it in the camera body itself. Now, Canon does not give you IBIS with their EOS RP, whereas the new Nikon Z5 does. You're getting your usual 5-axis image stabilization, your VR or whatever you want to call it, with Nikon. Okay, so that is good. That is a major point difference if you need in-body image stabilization. Next, your cards. The Nikon does give you 2 UHS 2 cards, whereas Canon only provides 1. That is a major difference. If you're a professional, you want to shoot with 2 card slots so that you can have redundancy, so you can have a backup. So if you're shooting something very important, you're not going to lose everything because there was a card failure. The Nikon provides it, whereas the Canon EOS RP does not. But also bear in mind, these are not really professional units, so a lot of the amateurs out there are really not going to care one way or another if they have 2 cards or only 1. So it's something to keep in mind. Next comes your autofocus. Nikon provides 273 points of autofocus, whereas the Canon EOS RP, it's like 4,779. Give or take a pixel. Anyways, a lot, okay? A lot. It's kind of a bunch of nonsense. I'm sure they're both going to do a really good job as far as tracking. Now, into the whole tracking thing, of course, Nikon being newer, and we know that a lot of folks are looking for that eye tracking as well as animal eye tracking, and you see it in everything now, of course, including the new Canon cameras, but the Nikon does have it. It does have animal eye tracking as well as human eye tracking, whereas the Canon EOS RP does not. It has face tracking. The usual, just like you see what's going on right here, it's like tracking all over my face. Remember, this is the Canon All right, it does have an amazing dual pixel AF. It tracks, it never loses me. And this I'm using right now is like an 80D, and it's just lock solid. So anything newer than this is still going to be amazing. And even the new Canons now, they have dual pixel AF 2. Two. Mark II, whatever you want to call it. So even better. So I would say they're probably going to be on par. Now, next comes that touch screen. This is a major difference. Some people are going to like one over the other. The Nikon Z5, it gives you a 3.2-inch screen, whereas the Canon only gives you a 3.0-inch screen. But where it changes is Nikon gives you the little flippy screen, this thing, whereas Canon, the EOS RP, gives you a fully articulated screen that you can flip forward, backwards. You can use it for selfies. You can use it for what I'm doing right now, vlogging, whatever. All right. So that is going to be important for a lot of people and something to bear in mind and take into consideration. So pricing. This is where it's kind of interesting. Okay. The body alone on that Nikon Z5 is going to come in at $1,400, whereas the body alone on the EOS RP is $999. Let's call it $1,000. So you're looking at a $400 difference, 40% more, all right, for the Z5 over the RP. Now remember, the EOS RP is a year and a half old in comparison to the brand new up and coming release of the Nikon Z5. Now, if you're looking for that Z5, there's also a few other announcements that just came out, which will give you a kit along with some other things. So the body itself, like I said, on the Nikon Z5 is going to be $1,400, whereas with $1,700, it'll also give you a 24 to 50 millimeter kit lens, which is an f4 to 6.3. I hate kit lenses. I hate a variable f-stop. Just junk it. Just give me the body alone and I'll get like a 2.8 straight or 1.8 or 1.4 or whatever. I don't like this variable stuff. But anyways, for $1,700, like I said, you can get that Nikon Z5 with that 24 to 50. But if you want to spend a little bit more, you can spend $2,100 and you get that Z5 as well as the 24 to 50 and a 24 to 200. They're both variable f4 up to 6.3 variable whatnot. I believe that you get both in the kit, but it's possible that you only get the 24 to 200. Don't quote me on that. You guys can look it up. Anyways, that will be $2,100. And finally, they came out with a couple of Z teleconverters. These little tellies, a 1.4 will run you $550, whereas a 2.0, it'll set you back $600. So those are, let's say, the release information that just came out. The other thing that Nikon was talking about is providing a methodology or a means to turn their cameras into a webcam. We saw that all of the other manufacturers did it, starting out with Canon with their web utility, which I thought was amazing. So a lot of the Canon cameras now, you can use them as webcams instead of having to buy software to do it. Well, Nikon did the exact same thing. They have a free webcam utility just like Canon or Fuji or whoever. They are all doing it now. Why? Because we're all sitting in this pandemic and a lot of people are using some type of Skype or Zoom or whatever to be able to communicate. And it's always nice to be able to use a proper camera in comparison to these horrid webcams that we see. So anyways, that is the information when it comes to this release, this announcement, okay, what is coming up. Remember, the difference between the two is $1,000 for the Canon EOS RP, whereas you're paying $1,400 for the brand new Z5. There is major differences between the two, but in my personal opinion, when you compare apples to apples or maybe apples to oranges and just look at both of them, one being brand new that's not even out yet, the other one being a year and a half or longer old, they're very comparable. All right. One has the other one beat in certain situations, whereas the other one has the other one beat in others. So it's something to look at. Now, if you're a Nikon shooter and you already have a bunch of Z lenses, well, it's not even a question. You're going to go with the Nikon. But if you're on the fence and you don't know which unit to buy, and you want to get a entry-level full-frame mirrorless camera, I think the both of them are great, and it's something to look at. No matter which one you choose, I think you're going to be doing well, either with the Nikon Z5 or the Canon EOS RP. They're both good. It just depends on what you want to do. Like I said, if you want 24p, you're probably going to have to go Canon. Canon has a little bit larger sensor, but I'm going to guess noise is probably going to be a little bit worse on the Canon in comparison to the Nikon Z5. Once again, the Z5, I haven't seen any results yet when it comes to noise, so we're just speculating as of now. Also, when it comes to that back screen, a lot of people want that fully articulated back screen that you see on the Canon that you do not see on the Nikon. So, IBIS is another one. Guys, IBIS, I cannot stand IBIS, but a lot of you I know love it. All right, IBIS as of late, I mean, I showed you some stuff that came out of Peter's corner over there, Peter McKinnon. I looked at the stuff, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like a Jello piece of junk, you know? I just don't like it. Now, will they fix it with the brand new cameras? Yes, they will, but I'm just saying, I've just never been a fan of IBIS. Some of it looks really good, and then other times it just doesn't know what to do, you know? And I saw a lot of footage whereas the person is like, let's say stable, and you're seeing corners like doing this thing, jiggling and moving and swooshing around. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna puke. Like, what is that? All right, fix it. Canon, fix it. So I don't know, maybe Nikon has got their in-body image stabilization down. I don't know. Hopefully they do. So if you need IBIS, once again, the Z5 is the way to go. So guys, that's really about it. I want to hear from you. Are you interested in this entry-level full-frame mirrorless camera from Nikon, the Z5? What do you think about it? Would you buy it? Do you think $1,400 is the right price for it? Or do you think it should be closer to that $1,000 that we see with the Canon EOS RP? How do you think they fare between the two of them, spec to spec, right? And if you are going to pick up the Nikon Z5, do you already have lenses and that's why you're going in that direction? You're already a Nikon shooter, or are you a brand new shooter out there that's looking for a low cost mirrorless full frame and you are deciding to go with Nikon? I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Where do you stand? Let's have this conversation in the comments below this video. And then also, once we are done down here, head over to my Discord server. I put it together for all of us. It's a creative Discord server. You can find it over at community.jcristina.com. Once again, community.jcristina.com. Also, don't forget about that ebook. Head over to jcristina.com/ebook, 10 tips at making tack sharp images, something for everyone. Once again, jcristina.com/ebook. And finally, clean those sensors. They get dirty. Mirrorless get more dirty than the DSLRs. Why? Because you don't have a little flippy thing in front of your sensor. You pull off your lens and what's happening? Your sensor is acting like a big magnet and just sucking in all the debris and dust and nonsense onto it. And then later on in post-production, you're having to like retouch it out. Don't do that. Clean your sensors. This right here, I invented the Aurora Camera Care cleaning product. It's for either sensor or lens or both. All right. This pack right here is for sensor only. It's full frame, but it's also available in APS-C as well as Micro Four Thirds. You can find it over at B&H Photo. You can find it on Amazon. You can also find them over on my website, jcristina.com. Once again, use promo code YT20 at checkout, YT20, and you get 20% off everything in your shopping cart. That's really about it, guys. I'm out of here. Please, if you have not given this video a thumbs up for all of this wonderful information as of yet, please do so. That would really help out the channel, help me out, help out the Google God's algorithm. All right. And also don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you can get all my content when it becomes available, and click this bell icon somewhere over here So when my videos do come out, you will be notified immediately. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.